We all became plant mamas during COVID, okay? I'm sure that you did. You learned about plant care. You learned, like, oh, my pothos needs more water than my monstera does. How much sunshine, how far away from the window they should be. Is it filtered? Is it not filtered? Like, whatever, right? What kind of nutrients do I put in them? Like, there's different type of soil. Do I add more perlite into my soil? Do I add less? You know what kind of conditions to give them, what kind of environment, all of these things that you take care of at home need to thrive. But are we doing it for ourselves? And the answer is probably not. Hey friend, welcome to the Ready to Rise podcast. This is the podcast for ambitious, successful women who've checked off all the boxes. The career, the routines, the self-help books, and therapy, we've done it all. But if you're still feeling numb, stuck, or like you're just going through the motions, you're in the right place. Because I've totally been there, and I've healed myself using the tools that I now teach. I got certified in them so that I could help other women do the same. I'm your host, Audrey Rose, a registered nurse and somatic life coach, and I'm here to help you stop just coping, stop just going through the motions, and actually start feeling good again in your life, feeling happy again. Each week, we explore nervous system regulation, emotional wellness, and rituals that are rooted in ancient wisdom, ancient practices, so you can stop just going through the motions and stop just getting by and start really feeling lit up and alive and fully plugged in again. This is about real happiness, the kind that fills your body, lights you up, and helps you create a life that you are obsessed to wake up for. So are you ready? Because I'm excited to help you feel like you again. I am almost a little bit ashamed to admit this to you guys, but we're going to hash it out for a minute. I've been working a ton, like a ton. And I don't feel ashamed to admit that because I still carry that old pattern that I think most of us do as high achieving women, where it's like it's a badge of honor to like work a lot and be really busy. I'm not going to lie about that. However, the part that I feel ashamed about is the fact that it's become a coping mechanism for me lately. And I recognize that that is not particularly healthy and that there are a lot of ways that I think we can come into healing burnout, healing, the things that are going on around us, just healing ourselves in general by treating ourselves like a plant. Truly, I want to dive into this with you guys. I think that what happens to a lot of us is that we treat ourselves like a machine. Literally, I have my morning routine. I wake up, I do the things like I go through all of the motions all day, right? And I get to work, I do all the things there. Everybody knows me that I'm so productive. Like, I'm just saying in general. For all of us, I think that that's what happens to a lot of us. It's like, people know that I'm really productive and I close cases on time and I do all the things and whatever. And honestly, I want you to check in. Like, we're going to chat about this in this episode because I want you to check in and pay attention to like, am I treating myself like a machine or am I treating myself like a plant? So I do think that there is a time and a place for both. I think that a lot of us, we have times where we pick up more work or we work a little bit harder. If you are in the corporate world or you have like deadlines coming up that you have to meet or you have like an inbox full of emails, like there might be one day this week that you stay up super late answering everything. I'm not going to get into that with you. As long as you have some balance, I think that, this is very unpopular to say this in the burnout world, but there's a time and a place for that. We are ambitious, high achieving women. And let's be honest, there are going to be nights where we stay up late getting our shit done. Whatever. Okay. But there's a time and a place for it becoming too much. There's a fine line between you staying up on a Monday night to catch up on emails or, Friday or whatever, or like having a big deadline or, you're a lawyer that has like a big case going on, whatever. But there's a fine line between doing that sometimes and working your booty to the bone for months on end. So I was thinking about myself. If you know, I'm not going to dive into all the negativity because I am starting to, I think, notice that negativity manifests more negativity. So we're trying not to harp on the negativity right now. But if you know, a lot of negative shit happened to me. I mean, a lot of negative shit has recently happened to me. And the problem is that there's always a price tag with it. There's always a financial price tag. Like I got a root canal and that was like $3,000 out of nowhere that I had to pay. More than that, because like there are other appointments after. And yeah, it's a lot. So the thing is, like, that's just one example, right? But I'm not going to dive into all the shit that's been going on. But here's the thing. All of these, as things come up in our lives, as we have stress, whether it's financial stress or it's unexpected, issues or experiences or just things, whatever you want to call them, negative things that come up out of the blue for us, whatever it is, we all have different ways of coping. And I think that when life gets really, really hard, it's easy to revert to the older coping mechanisms that we learned when we were younger. And that might be like you were smoking cigarettes when you were in high school or, drinking or going out and, staying up really late with people that your mom and dad wouldn't want you hanging out with, like whatever. Like I'm making silly, things, but like a lot of us easily revert, right? One of my big coping mechanisms is Hallmark, like Hallmark on like repeat, these kinds of coping mechanisms don't serve us in the long run. And I was literally taking a shower the other day, like shout out to Shower Thoughts because truly they're the best. I had this like massive like download and I was like, oh my God, dude, I think that you are working a lot as a coping mechanism. And that's something that I used to do when I was younger, like in high school. When I would be really stressed, I would actually try to pick up shifts at like a restaurant I worked at, right? But I thrived under the extra pressure. I wanted to be constantly working, constantly doing, constantly shoving things into my routine because I am definitely an all or nothing person. I like to be all in, going, super busy schedule, finding time to like cram all my important things into these little slots. And there we go, right? Or I like to be nothing, where I'm laying around and watching Hallmark back to back to back. But let's be honest, these are not necessarily healthy. They're not necessarily unhealthy. Like I'm not, tons of drinking a ton or like smoking a pack of cigarettes or anything like that. And no offense if you do, but yes, as a nurse, I'm going to tell you like, girl, we got to move on from those coping mechanisms, but we all cope in different ways. And I noticed, I'm like, you know what? Because there's been so much financial stuff going on. I've been wanting to work. I've been wanting to pick up extra work, right? Here's the thing, like we are strong, ambitious women. But there comes a point when we start to treat ourselves like a machine. We wake up, we do the thing, we go for it, whatever. We go to back to sleep, put it on repeat. And I want you to lean into that and ask yourself if you've been doing that. Because truly, a very simple way to reduce burnout, to prevent burnout, and this might not be like, something you're going to find in like a big published article or like the fancy, burnout coach isn't like sharing this silly, simple example, but treat yourself like a plant. I swear, like I love to say this and I love to talk about this. And I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but are you treating yourself like a plant? We've all bought like the fiddle leaf fig and tried to keep it alive. We bought the monstera and yours is probably doing a lot better than mine. A pothos, right? Like easy. I want you to pay attention we all became plant mamas during COVID. Okay. I'm sure that you did. You learned about plant care. You learned like, oh, my pothos needs more water than my monstera does. Right. And I'm probably pronouncing these wrong, but don't come at me. The fiddle leaf fig needs like, I think it's distilled water, right? I always forget, but I think it's the green bottle. Anyways, I know what these plants need. How much sunshine, how far away from the window they should be. Is it filtered? Is it not filtered? Like whatever, right? What kind of nutrients do I put in them? Like there's different type of soil. Do I add more perlite into my soil? Do I add less? You know what kind of conditions to give them, what kind of environment, all of these things that you take care of at home need to thrive. But are we doing it for ourselves? And the answer is probably not. And especially not when we are working our booties to the bone. Treat yourself like a plant. Very, very simple, easy to remember. There's like a couple of things, right? Water, sun, nutrients, and positive vibes. Studies literally show that plants grow faster and grow better when they are surrounded by positive vibes. They've taken studies where they've literally separated the plants, had you say positive things for a certain amount of time every day to one plant, say negative things to a different, play positive, like uplifting, kind of music, that kind of thing. And studies show that these plants that you're doing all the positive things for grow better. So the point is, I need you to give yourself those positive vibes. Sunshine, water, nutrients as well. Treat yourself like a plant. It's okay when there's a period of time where you are answering emails on a Friday night. You're, up till midnight because of like the dog was sick, whatever it is. But treat yourself like a plant. Okay, friend, I know those days where my mind just won't stop. I can't fall asleep, and then I'm just exhausted, anxious, grumpy, all of it, right? This is usually when I know I need to reset my nervous system. For me in the past, I used to try the affirmations and all the personal development books and talk therapy and all of the things, but it never worked. So finally learning the somatic healing tools that actually regulate my nervous system has seriously changed things. So I put together a happiness bundle for you. It's literally 3 guided practices in under 30 minutes each. I walk you through each one, and these are literally nervous system regulation practices that are proven to help you reduce cortisol levels, reduce your stress, so you can finally get better sleep, think more clearly, and just feel more calm overall. I walk you through each one exactly so that you will know like step by step what to do. It's an on-demand video. And again, it's 3 of them, EFT tapping, sound bath, and breath work, all in under 30 minutes each. So if you are ready for that feeling where you just finally feel like yourself again, you feel like you can access the happiness that's all around you because your nervous system is more regulated, go and grab the happiness bundle now. I want to give it to you for $11. It's in my show notes below, or if you go to my Instagram bio at Hello Audrey Rose, it's right there in the link in bio. And just get it for $11 with code happiness at checkout. And I cannot wait to hear how good this makes you feel. If you have one of those big long nights, or if you have a month where you're working a lot of overtime or something, I need you to be very intentional about getting all your water in, getting your sunlight, even if it just comes from a sad lamp. Like right now, knock shift life girl here. Get the nutrients and just take care of yourself. There's so many things out there, right? You can have like a 15-step skincare routine. You can walk 30,000 steps a day. Like there's so much information. There's so many amazing things we can do to really thrive in our lives. But for these seasons where we are kind of like in a machine mode, where we're just going and going and going, and we're not giving ourselves a break, I need you to just remember the basics. Treat yourself like a plant. Love you so much. I hope you have a blessed and a beautiful week. And I hope that this advice, as simple as it is, I hope you allow this to sink in. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Ready to Rise podcast. It means so much to me to have you here and to get to share all of this with you. If this one resonated, literally just send this to a friend, share it with her right now, because there's so many women out there who really need this information. And I would also love it if you could take a quick screenshot, throw it up on Instagram, tag me at Hello Audrey Rose so that I can connect with you and get to know you. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Have a blessed and beautiful day, and I will see you next time.